Hello everyone, Small Trader here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is my first video in this new year 2024. So before starting with this video, I'd like to take a small moment to wish you a very happy new year. May this new year brings you profitability in your trading journey, but you also must know that profitability is not a matter of new year, but it's a matter of hard work, discipline, and perseverance. So anyway, I wish you a very happy new year, guys. So without further saying, let's get started with this video. In today's video, I'll make a review on gold setup that I shared with you on my Telegram channel last week, and then I'll make an analysis for the upcoming week. So let's get started. So on this gold chart, we are in M15 time frame. So on that day, I started with a simple structure mapping. Okay, so to make a proper structure mapping, never start your structure mapping from the current structure or the current price. You always have to identify the last change of character, which is actually the beginning of the current trend. Okay, so we see here that the market is obviously bearish. If we scroll back like this, we see that the market has been bearish a few days ago. Before that moment. Okay, so you have to identify the last change of character. Okay, so you have to go back to the beginning of this trend and try to identify the change of character. So we see that this is the highest point, the last highest point before this bearish trend started. So we have to mark it, and after that we have to identify our inducement. Okay, so if I zoom in, we see that our inducement is right below this last highest point, which is here. Okay, so the market has taken out this inducement, making this last high a valid one. Okay, so after that we have to identify if the market has broken the structure or completely changed character. We see that this is an interesting structure, and we see that the market has broken it. So how do we know it is a simple break of structure or a change of character? We have to now identify if this last higher low is a valid one or not. So we see behind here that the market has taken out this inducement before pushing up and breaking the last higher high. Okay, making it a valid structure right here. Okay, so this is our last break of structure, the last break of structure in the bullish trend. Okay, so after the market has broken this last higher high, and then this low here is a valid one. Okay, so this is part of our structure mapping. So we have marked it like this, and then we see that the market has pushed downside later on and completely broken it and close below it, making it a valid change of character. Okay, so this is a change of character. So this is what I was looking for. Okay, so after that we have to keep doing our structure mapping by marking our inducement and break of structures. So we see here that the market has made a valid pullback here, take out this inducement, and then break it again, break the last lower low here. Okay, so the market is saying that it's willing to push downside. Okay, the trend, the bearish trend is going on here. Okay, so after that the market push downside, there's not a valid pullback here, so this is not a valid break of structure, but it's something like an internal structure. Okay, so this is our last lower high, which is right here. No, this is not yet our last lower high, because we have, yes, this one is valid one, because the market has already broken this last structure here. So make this last lower high here is a valid one, and this last lower low is valid one because the market has cleared inducement here before dropping. Okay, so here we are. After that we have to wait for the market to create another valid pullback, take it out, and we can mark another structure. Here we have an inducement. The market has taken out this inducement, making this last lower low a valid lower low. Okay, so the market is pushing downside, it has taken inducement, pushed higher, but not break and close above this last lower high here. Okay, I said that this structure is not a valid structure because it hasn't taken out any inducement over here. So this is an internal structure. So after that the market has pushed downside, and for the first attempt the market has not really closed below the last low, the last lower low. Okay, so this is not an actual break of structure, but it's liquidity sweep. Okay, the market has swept liquidity, so that means this last low here is transferred to this new one here. Okay, so the next time the market has to make a proper break of structure, the market has to completely close, break and close below this last low here to be a valid break of structure. So this is our actual break of structure. Okay, and then the market keep pushing downside. Over here I saw that the market has taken out this inducement here, making this last low a valid low here. Okay, this one is a valid low, and the market tried to break and close below it, but it doesn't succeed to do it. The market has cleared liquidity 3 times, okay, and pushed higher again. So this is not a valid breakout structure. So at that time, this high here is not a valid high. If the market has completely broken and closed below it, then this high will become, this last lower high will become a valid lower high. But the market has not broken and completely closed below it, so this is not a valid one. So when the market will push higher, this will not be a valid change of character, okay, because this is not yet part of the structure. Okay, so this last high is transferred now to this new high right here. Okay, and the market keep pushing again, and at this moment the market has cleared liquidity of the last lower low without closing below it. So that means this lower high, the last lower high, is transferred from here, from here to there. Okay, so the next time the market has to completely break and close below this last structure to be a valid break of structure. So we see that the market has pushed higher again, but without breaking our last valid high, which is still above here. So this is still a bearish trend. Okay, so the market has pushed downside and finally broken this last structure and closed below it, so making the last lower high a valid one. This is a break of structure, and here we have our last valid lower high, which is right here. So if the market push higher and break this last structure here, that means the market is willing to change the trend from bearish to bullish. Okay, so this will be a change of character. So at this point we have now to identify our our inducement and identify our valid order blocks. So we see that this is our first inducement, this is our first valid pullback, and the market has cleared it, making it a valid inducement. So after clearing an inducement, we have to mark our valid order block. So to mark a valid order block, you always have to start from the extreme order block and then look for your decisional order block. Okay, so here we have our extreme order block, this candle which has cleared the liquidity of the previous candle here. So this is our extreme order block. If the market pushed higher, then it will mitigate our extreme order block. Let me mark it. So this is our extreme order block. So the next thing we need to identify is our decisional order block. So if you see here, there is not a valid order block here. Everything here is an inside bar. Okay, it is trapped in this huge candle right here. So this will not be used as a valid order block. Okay, so you have to forget about this area and then move to the next part. There is not a valid order block here. This one also is not a valid order block because this, let me zoom in so that you can see it clearly, because this candle here has completely engulfed this last one. Okay, so this is not a valid order block. If this candle right here has a very long wick like this one, something like this, then this will be a valid order block because it has cleared the last high of this candle right here. Okay, but this candle is an inside bar, so we cannot use it as a valid liquidity sweep to mark this white candle like valid decisional order block. Okay, but if you look a little bit above here, we have a valid order block right here. This white candle has cleared liquidity of the previous candle, making it a valid break of structure. Okay, so we can mark this as a decisional order block. Okay, so this is our decisional order block, and at this point there's a little trap here that I want to explain to you. You see that this is like a trendline liquidity right here. So sometimes the market, if it push higher, it will not respect your order block but push a little bit higher to clear this trend line liquidity before dropping. That's why on that day I also marked this candle right here like a valid order block, but this one doesn't have a valid imbalance, so I moved the order block to the next one which has an imbalance here. Okay, so it is pretty close to this order block. When you see two order blocks which are pretty close to each other, most of the time the market will clear the liquidity of the first one, mitigate the second one before reversing. Okay, that's why I also marked this second order block, even though in smart money concept we can call this one as a smart money trap, because any order block between extreme and decisional order block is a trap. Okay, but in this case here, these two order blocks are really close to each other, so the market may push higher to clear the liquidity of the first one, mitigate the second one, and drop. Okay, so that's why I also marked this order block right here. So all we had to do is to wait for the market to mitigate our decisional order block right here. Okay, and we can take our sell, but we don't have to wait for the market to mitigate our decisional order block. We can also watch the market for single candle order block formation. So here I found a single candle order block. This week can be the shadow here, can be used as a single candle order block. Why? Because it has cleared liquidity of this previous structure right here. So we can mark this structure as a single candle order block. But on that day I've taken a trade there, but the market has broken it, so it was a valid loss because I respected my trading plan. So this one is a valid one. There is also a second one here, but I didn't take the trade. Okay, so I waited for the market to mitigate my my decision order block before jumping into it. Okay, so let's wait and see what will the market do. Eventually the market has mitigated our decision order block. Okay, here we are. So eventually the market has mitigated our decision order block. This is just a nice entry right here. The market has just typed on our decision order block and then dropped and completely break structure here. So this is a nice trade here. So some will ask me if I have used a lower time frame confirmation before making this entry. You see here that this move is caused on on Thursday by jobless claim. So when there is high impact news, you don't really have time to wait for the market. The market move really fast, so you don't really have time to wait for the market to create a proper structure lower time frame confirmation before you can place your trade. So if you were waiting for a lower time frame confirmation, you'll probably miss it. And generally I even advise you to not trade on high impact news, okay, because the market move very fast and it doesn't really respect your order blocks and your trading plans. Okay, so there was an additional confirmation over here that I've used to make my entry. This is like a trend line or a double top liquidity right here. So the market has taken very much liquidity before mitigating this order block, so there's no need to wait for lower time frame confirmation. You can reduce your risk and directly pen a sell limit right here, and the market will eventually trigger it before dropping. So this was a very beautiful trade. I made something like 1 to 10 risk reward ratio, if I remember well. Yeah, it is almost 1 to 12 risk reward ratio. So this is a beautiful trade. So this is actually how I have found this trade. I've made my analysis, the setup that I've shared with you on my Telegram channel last week. Okay, so we have finished with this review. So now we will make an analysis for the upcoming week. So let me get rid of the bar replay mode. So here the market, after breaking this structure, this high becomes a valid high here. Okay, so the market has pushed higher and completely broke it and closed above it. So this is a valid change of character right here. So the market has switched from bearish to bullish right now. So we have now to look for buy opportunities. So here, after breaking this structure here, this is change of character. We have to identify an inducement. Where did the market has taken out inducement? This is not a valid pullback, okay? This is not a valid pullback. Our valid pullback is right here. So the market has cleared this pullback and is trying to push higher, okay? And we have to identify our valid order blocks. So my first order block is here. My first valid order block is this one here with proper imbalance. So if the market drop, mitigate it, then I can switch to a lower time frame to look for entry confirmation or single candle order block for confirmation before the market will go higher, or if this decisional order block fail to make the market react, then we have to target our extreme order block, which is right below here. So this one is our extreme order block, okay? The second scenario, if the market broke this decisional order block, then it will probably drop further to mitigate our extreme order block before reversing, or the market will create a single candle order block on its way down. So if you identify a single candle order block, you can also jump in. You can also switch to a lower time frame to look for confirmation, and you can also buy here. You also have a trendline liquidity, something which looks like liquidity here. This is a trendline liquidity. So if the market drop, it will probably grab that liquidity before going up. So it will depend. You have to watch the market and wait for liquidity grab before you can take your buy. So remember that order block in SMC, order block is not really important. What matters really is the liquidity. So if the market grab liquidity, there is no reason for it to mitigate any order block, okay, anymore. So the market will certainly reverse and continue its way. So we see here that the market has also created a single candle order block. If we check well, this is a single candle order block. So we can wait for the market to mitigate this one, and maybe it can push higher later, okay? So it depends. You have to wait for the market to mitigate one of these three areas that I've marked, and then switch to lower time frame, look for confirmation, okay? But what matters the most is liquidity. If you see that the market has cleared liquidity somewhere, you can switch to lower time frame and then try to take your buy, okay? So this is it for today's video. I hope it was useful. So if it was useful, don't forget the thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and stay tuned for next video. So see you later, guys.